Today we're going to dive into a new app called Pi that's supposed to be some type of like conversationalist chatbot. So what it's supposed to do is chat with me. Apparently the data that it was built on makes it a bit more empathetic. It's not supposed to help you code or help you create anything new. It's not supposed to create net new content for you in the way that you can ask, let's say, OpenAI's ChatGPT to write a blog post for you or write a description for something. Pi doesn't do that. Instead, Pi wants you to talk. Pi is a chatbot that listens. So what we're going to do today is dive into Pi, see how well it does at listening to me, to drawing out new information from me. I'm going to give Pi a real life story, a real example, a real thing that I'm thinking about, not on a daily basis, but something I think about sometimes. And we're going to see how Pi handles it. So let's jump into Pi. Ooh, okay, first things first, I love how it just comes in. Hey there, great to meet you. I'm Pi, your personal AI. My goal is to be useful, friendly, and fun. Ask me for advice, for answers, or let's talk about whatever's on your mind. How's your day going? First, it's very leading. When you open up ChatGPT, it's just like, give me a prompt. Tell me your prompt. What do you want? This already starts off a lot more conversational, and it's really asking me about my day, which I feel like that's something when you're growing up, you kind of think your boyfriend's gonna ask you that every day, or your husband's gonna ask you that every day when you get home from work. Not a chatbot. So this is a quite interesting start and a very interesting choice of words to kick off the conversation. Okay, I told it that my day's going well and I had a really relaxed morning and that I'm at work right now. Pi says, it's great to hear you had a relaxed morning. It's nice to start off the day without a lot of stress. What do you do for work? First, I found this to be a very interesting question. What do you do for work? So Pi isn't immediately jumping into like, tell me about your problems. Pi is kind of just listening to what I said and then asking me the next logical question. I feel like Pi is more empathetic than me. When I go into a conversation with someone, sometimes I listen and sometimes I don't. I'm kind of 50-50. I do the best that I can, but we're not all empathetic, we don't all have that skill, and I certainly don't. And so I love how it's kind of going off of what I said and really asking me more questions to build a conversation with me. So awesome start, Pi. I am noticing that it takes like a hot sec to kind of think, read what I've said, and then respond. Read as if it's reading, right? Funny. But it does take a little hot sec to kind of grasp what I've said and generate a response. So it says, that's so cool. It can be great to do something you love, even if it's not yet making money. Learning new skills can also be fulfilling and challenging in the best way. What kind of videos do you make for your channel? So this is really cool because it's talking about learning new skills and it's really building on what I've said, but not saying too much, just being very encouraging, which I love. So for now on the channel, I've only been testing out new AI tools. A couple of things that I would love to do on this channel is review, look at how AI is really impacting different industries. I'd love to just talk about more new developments in AI, news around AI. It feels like a very big industry that only has the opportunity to grow. And that's why I got really excited about jumping into YouTube and talking about AI right now. Okay. Oh, that's a pretty unique topic for a YouTube channel. It's great that you're not only doing something you enjoy, but that you're also contributing to education about new AI tools. Have you found any tools you've been especially impressed by? For now, I've only tried AI art tools and I've done a couple videos on that. The most I've been impressed by is Lexica Art. I also use ChatGPT a fair amount, so I'm gonna say those two. Alrighty, let's see. I like the kind of moving dash that's happening here, very cute. I'm not surprised to hear ChatGPT. That one's been everywhere. I'm not familiar with Lexica Art, but I'll have to check it out. Could you tell me a little bit more about what it does? Okay, my jaw is on the floor right now. I'm not gonna lie. When I'm talking to someone and they say something I don't recognize, half the time I feel a little intimidated, and so I go, You know, I oh my God, I'm stitching on myself right now. But sometimes I just pretend like I know what they're talking about and move on. I love that Pi has kind of paused and is giving me a nudge to tell them a little bit more and keep the conversation going. It feels a lot like this was trained on people who do improv or something, because I can see it kind of yes-anding me, saying yes to what I have offered it and building on top of the conversation. So we've been talking for a little bit now. This is pretty exciting. I use Lexica Art to generate the images for my channel, both the profile image and also the banner. And then I also did like a comparison video comparing Lexica to other free art generators. So let's see what it says. That's really interesting. It seems like there's been a surge in interest in AI in the last year or so. I think it's really cool that new technology can help people create beautiful pieces of art. Yeah, I think when we really saw a big jump in AI was around the March timeframe, when ChatGPT brought in a brand new version of ChatGPT, GPT-4, and that got a lot of press around it. A lot of folks were talking around about it, but also it's the easy user interface that made it easier for a lot of people to start using AI and actually see it and start applying it to their roles and work, and even applying it to their everyday. So I do believe like surge in the last year, something critical to know and something that is really cool that Pi picked up on. So I'm basically telling Pi that, yeah, sure. I've maybe created a thing or two with Lexica. The thing is, I've seen so much better stuff from real artists, so I don't feel like the things I created are particularly cool. But I have created some things, and so that's basically what I've said here. It can be hard to create something truly stunning, especially if you're just starting out. The important thing is that you enjoy the process of trying new things and experimenting. What kinds of AR art have you seen others make with Lexica Art? It's very interesting is that it's really just having a conversation with me and keeping going with it feels like with no real destination in mind. I can honestly say I'm wondering like how long we gonna be having this conversation. I'm not necessarily one of those like let's talk forever people. I'm bad at small talk, and this feels like in the realm of like we still small talking, you know? Oh my gosh, I feel terrible. But yeah, I'm terrible at small talk, and this feels small talky, and so I feel like come on now, where are we going with this in my heart? However, I do like the calm, easygoing feel of it. So let's see. Oh my gosh, did AI just make me chuckle? First of all, the fact that Pi is using emojis, I mean, okay, that puffer jacket thing sounds hilarious. And realism in art is definitely something a lot of people are aiming for. I'm sure with time and practice, you'll get better at creating that style you're going for. Have you tried playing around with different prompt and parameters to see what effects they have on your images? So right now it's still asking me like, hey, have you tried this? Have you tried that? I'm going to say yes. I actually went through an entire AI prompt book, and so I learned a lot about the different possible parameters. So I said, yeah, I read an AI prompt book, basically learned all the options, but I definitely feel like AI art is just better done by artsy people who know photography, studied art, can actually recall different famous artists. Because one thing I noticed with the AI art was that I can say, hey, give me an alien with a hat, ha ha, But when I looked at some other prompts, they would speak to photography styles, what type of camera, what type of lens. You can give it, types of art, cartoon styles, and different, you can actually name different famous artists, and the tools will be able to generate those. But when you are a math person playing around in an art world, you don't know any of those things. And so I did notice that I wasn't able to create things like I've seen other people create online. Okay. Pi says, I think that's a great point. Knowing exactly what to ask for and using different prompts that are detailed and specific can really make a difference in the outcome of your AI art. But I also think there's something to be said for the process of experimentation and play, where you're not necessarily aiming for a specific outcome, but just seeing what you can create. Do you have a particular style or subject matter that you're interested in? Honestly, I'm going to say not really. I'm just playing around on the internet to see what it has to say. I mean, I'm not a chitty chat girl, and so this is going way far out of my realm of like, I feel good about this conversation. I feel like it's gone on too long. I think it could have been nice to say hey, what do you want to talk about today? Because it asked me what I was doing, and now we're far in on a conversation that I'm somewhat interested in, but not enough to keep going. It's like I'm standing at a party and I'm holding my drink, and you happen to have talked to someone that you really don't want to talk to, but you can't find a way out or a pause in the conversation. And I want to see where this goes, but oh my goodness, I am feeling like it's time to say, oh, I'm gonna go get another drink and I'll be right back, and then find someone else to chat with. Okay, Pi says that's totally fine too. Sometimes it could be fun to just explore and see what's out there without having any particular goal in mind. AI art can be a great way to do that because you can get such a wide variety of images with different parameters and prompts. Have you ever tried some other AI art generators like Midjourney or Stable Diffusion? Obviously here my answer is yes, but I'm just gonna say yes. I am kind of at the point where I'm exhausted with a very long conversation into AI art generators, simply because I started the conversation off talking about AI art. If I were talking to a person in real life, I'd say, yeah, but that's not interesting. Tell me about you. So I think that's what I'm gonna do to see if we can get a little bit more conversation out of Pi. Let's see what happens from here. Hopefully there's an opportunity to bring this conversation back around to something that, I don't know, I care about. Okay, this is cool. It's telling me a little bit of its background. Okay, well, as I mentioned, I'm an AI. I was created by Inflection AI with a small AI startup based in Palo Alto. Wow, words are hard. This is a paragraph. I've been doing a lot of reading, so don't judge me. I was trained on lots of data to help me have conversations with people like you, and my goal is to be friendly, informative, and empathetic. I'm still in beta development, so I'm not perfect, but I'm learning more all the time. Do you have any questions about me? Yeah. Let me ask, can you tell me about the data that you were trained on? I'm asking it this question specifically because I've read a lot of articles that basically say they don't tell you anything about the data. And I'm curious if I ask Pi if Pi will give me any information. From what I read in articles, Pi just tell you, hey, go to the privacy policy, but could be good to check for yourself. Unfortunately, I can't share much about the data I was trained on for privacy reasons, but I can tell you that it's a large data set of text data from a variety of sources, including social media, news articles, and other online sources. The data is used to help me learn about the world and about how to have conversations with people. I did read in a few articles basically that the founder said that they really tried to build this data set to train this model just to have conversations, not to be building stuff or creating new things, but really to have a conversation with you, to be a companion. And so I'm seeing that come all the way through. We've been talking for like 10 minutes. We've been talking for so long, I'm kind of tired. I honestly think there should be some type of quiz in the beginning that's like, hey, what are you in the mood for? Just chat. I have a thing I really want to talk about, or I'm feeling down, so that it gave you a few options, because right now I'm exhausted with this like long-winded conversation. I'm not a conversation girl. I'm not a small talk person. And so this is really in a realm that I'm like, ugh, not interested in. Okay, cool. And I feel like I am in the, if we were thinking about improv where the chatbot is kind of yes anding me, I am shutting this down. I am not enjoying this improv scene. I'm like, all right, cool. Tell me something. What you got to say? Oh, nothing? Okay, I'm tired. So let's see what the next question is. How does this AI keep the conversation going when I'm clearly kind of done with the conversation? And you can tell by the shortness of my prompts that I'm giving back to it. And honestly, I do feel like I'm reverting back to like, this is a prompt. We're not even having a conversation anymore as far as I'm concerned. I just want to see what you have to say. Like when you're talking to someone you're kind of annoyed with, but you're barely entertaining them. And you're just like, I'm just going to say whatever. I'm just going to say whatever and see what they have to say in return, in response. Let me just see how they respond. It's not that we're having this like deep emotional connection. I'm out of the moment. The moment is gone. It's past for me, and I'm just commenting to see what you say. So overall, so far, not a phenomenal experience, just because I'm bored, but I did like the conversation. So let's see where it can go from here. Hopefully we turn it around in the next couple of chats. Glad you think so. I'm always trying to improve, so any feedback you have is always appreciated. I'm also interested in hearing your thoughts on AI in general. What do you think about the rise of AI technology and the potential it has for good and bad? So it is asking me a little bit more here, and I think it probably thinks I really want to have a conversation around AI. Reality, I like to have deep one-on-one conversations. Like when I'm with a friend and we're chatting in person, we're not talking at all about like what I do for work. We're not talking about the types of stuff that I do on the side. Like we might talk about like how am I feeling right now? What goals am I working towards right now? Like we might be talking about like what happened on Love is Blind or some show on Netflix. But we're definitely not having forever long-winded conversations, deep diving into the minutia of the things that I do daily. And this feels like I cannot be like in the moment and steer the AI away from this. If I were in person, I would say, hey, I talk about AI all day. So honestly, I'd like to talk about something else. Let's talk about something else. And I think that's the big thing. It's like when I'm in the mood, I'm really in the mood. And when I'm not, which in this case, I guess I thought it was a personal AI that kind of gave therapy vibes just from the articles that I was reading. So I was hoping to be able to talk about something a little bit more deep. And so to stay surface level at this point, I'm saying at this point like we've been talking for 2 years, but to stay surface level after like 10-15 minutes of conversation, like this isn't my jam. I am really bored. And let's see. I am going to say, hey, honestly, I talk about AI all day. And so in my free time, I'd like to talk about something a little different. Okay, let's see what Pi has to say to that. Haha, no problem. I totally understand that you might want to break from talking about AI. We can chat about whatever you'd like. What other topics are you interested in? Okay, I'm gonna pause here. And the reason I'm pausing here is because it's really asking me about topics, and it'll probably drive me down a rabbit hole on any other individual topic. So as I was reading a lot of articles, it said that Pi would be like a therapy bot. It said that it can help you talk about your life's issues and really have deep conversations with you. But in the conversation that I had earlier, and even this question here, like what other topics are you interested in? It doesn't seem like it wants to talk therapy with me. I have done therapy, and My therapist will really ask me, yes, we'll ask about your day, we'll ask about why does that interest you, but we'll definitely talk a little bit about, she'll definitely ask, and I had a woman, she said, hey, is there anything specific you want to talk about or that you want to explore today? Is there anything on your mind today that you want to explore? Something like that. Not, hey, tell me about a topic that you like sometimes, which is really what I feel like I'm getting from this AI. I like it. I do think it's nice, conversationalist. Maybe if I talk to it more, I might be better at small talk. Maybe this could be small talk. Maybe this could be small talk training for the non-small talkers in the world like myself. But I'm bored. I can't even bring myself to keep going. I'm not interested. I don't want to talk about topics. I'm not interested in deep diving on like a random thing. When I am in person and you just get a jam and you really click and you keep going with someone and you go deeper and you have this phenomenal time, you play off of each other, you build up. This AI really isn't getting that I'm not interested in talking about topics. And so I guess that is it. I have nothing else to say. Not interested. Thanks, but no thanks. So if you made it all the way to the end of this video on a lighter note, please like and subscribe. We'll be diving into more AI. I'll be giving some of my thoughts and we'll walk through new tools together every so often like this, but hopefully not this bad. Alrighty, I'll catch you again next time. Peace.